music, there's multiple avenues to become successful, that you're not just basically starving or getting records on the biggest artists.
What have you noticed has been the difference in trying to get music placed with an A&R versus a music supervisor?
It's an entirely different process. I'm not the biggest fan of A&Rs today, because I feel like the majority of the A&Rs don't know what they're doing. And I know a lot of A&Rs. I know a lot of you. Some of you guys are my personal friends, and some of you guys I don't know at all. But you know, there's really not. I feel like there's really no good way to really even utilize an A&R in that capacity. If an A&R tells you to send them records, send them records, but your best bet is to get in contact with an artist, record a record on an artist. This is what I all mean. I feel like I'm not telling too much, but just telling how it is. In 2014, the most inexpensive thing in the world to do is to get into a recording studio. So back then in the day, 10 years ago, it was $450 an hour, $4,000 a day sessions. If an A&R is putting you in the studio with an artist, you better be good, or it's a problem. So if an A&R is telling you to send him records in 2014, and he won't put you in the studio with an artist, then he's trying to control you. And I'm telling you why. Because once that vocal is merged with your track, it circumvents him. He no longer has a say so. If you get the new artist at the label on your record, or you get the new rapper or the veteran artist, there's nothing to stop. In a music menu, sending it to the VP or whoever. Once they hear it, it's great. It's out there. I always feel like that's a system of control, because I've made statements like that online. A&Rs that I know have never put me in the studio with any artist, and they know me. They've been to my studio. I have a studio. It's easy. It's not hard. Tell me to send a record. Okay, that's cool, but set up a session, because that's where I found the majority of my success from in the music industry, is actually getting an artist's voice on a record. Now, when it comes to music supervision, that's an entirely different conversation, because I think there are no politics in that, in the sense of a music supervisor needs music for a scene. They need it for a part in a movie. They need it for a part in a show. If your music fits, it's in the show. You know, you do your license and you get paid, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? I had the trailer for About Last Night by Kevin Hart. It's a record that I did. Ironically, with Red One, producer, did Lady Gaga and Pitbull, and Jennifer Lopez had an enormous amount of success on the Ying Yang Twins. And I've been licensing that record for 2 years now. Like I said, just got another license for another feature film next year. And it's just a matter of, if they need the material's in the movie, and you get paid and you get dividends from that. As opposed to A&Rs, it's always about control. It's always like it's you, then it's the manager and the A&R and the label and all that. And it's like, you get the record on the artist. I'm telling you, I uncut records on anybody that worked with me, artist that knows it probably wasn't set up from an A&R. I saw you in a mall. I saw you coming out of a hotel. I saw you walking past me on the street, like, yo, we've never worked together. Let's get in the studio and do something, and kind of work that way. You know, that's how me and Scrappy did Money in the Bank in that fashion. We were never supposed to even really work together that day, and actually at the time, our session got shut down because of that. You know, it was another session, and the record he was supposed to record wasn't there, and I so happened to be there when he showed up, and he's like, I know you got some beats. And he started freestyling. He said, I got Money in the Bank. Shawty, what you think? And I was like, yo, that sounds like a hook. Let's lay that down. And it came time to start his whole other session, and we had this record, and I got a phone call from the A&R like, yo, I hear you're doing this record. It's not the session. It's cut. I got to shut you down, blah, blah, blah. And Scrappy came back the next day, and me and him sat in a room for the Pro Tools and did that record line by line, and nailed it and locked it down, and we knew we had something. And then at that point, once we got it in ATL, I got it in the movie, I got it licensed to be in the feature film ATL, sent it to a music supervisor. Shout out to Set Free and Chris Robinson and Sean, my manager Joe Blow, who all hooked that up. I got 8 records in that film, and in my mind, I wanted to put Money in the Bank in the movie. Because once Money in the Bank was in the film, I have a mixed mastered record. And we got Buck jumped on it. And then at that point, I started leaking the song. I was on MySpace, sending it out to DJs and everything. And that's what I mean by once Scrappy's voice was on it, once Young Buck and Scrappy's voice was on this record, there's nothing you can do. And you're not supposed to do that. They get mad because it's like, yo, whatever. But at that point, that was a game changer because it became the single. It competed against other records that Scrappy was recording, and it became the single. But the streets got a hold of it, and respect to Lil Jon and BME and those guys for even not squashing that. Because sometimes that happens. They squash it. Sometimes record comes down, I don't care if you did it or not. I'm Lil Jon, we getting the single, they squash it. So respect to John and BME for even letting that record come out and do what it did, because it changed my life. But once his voice was on that record and people heard it, it's an entirely different conversation as opposed to you going to an A&R and shopping your record.